Let me hear you say impact and influence. Impact and influence. Impact and influence.
Positivity and change.
Impact and influence. Impact and influence. Impact and influence.
The authors about to do their thing.
You know they got the book club, Authors Association. You better know the author show is always captivating. Impact and influence. Impact and influence. Impact and influence.
The authors about to do their thing.
Hey, it's been so long since I've seen you guys. Oh, that was just about 10 minutes ago. Well, anyway, welcome back and thank you for coming back. I'm so excited. You guys saw JASLYNN, but you didn't get to hear from her. But she is an amazing author of 2 wonderful books and probably some more under her belt as well. And we're going to learn about her books and get a chance to talk to her and learn who she is as well. And so right now, though, again, go ahead and share this video with the show with someone on your social media, on several of your pages, the groups that you're in, people that you care about. Because, I mean, you can look at her titles, you can know this may be something somebody you know needs to hear about. So go ahead and share right now. And then also remember, you can ask questions. JASLYNN, if you want, you can tell your friends you're on live too, and they can come join you and make comments or ask questions as well. We'd love to hear from you. And so, you know, be interactive with us. We like it. All right. Well, without further ado, as I like to say, I'd like to introduce to you the author, JASLYNN GHOLSON. And JASLYNN, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing well. I really am. God is so good. I'm just thankful to be here, girl.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, you know, I like to ask this question of my authors, JASLYNN, because I like my viewers to get to know a little bit about the person behind the book. So tell me who JASLYNN is.
I've always kind of been a passionate and big-hearted person. And I basically love anything art related. I love anything that allows me to express myself, anything that allows me to be light to other people. So I do cakes as well. And yes, I'm a cake designer and I've done that for 10 years. And when I first started doing that, I started doing it with my aunt and she passed away. And when she passed away, it was basically something that allowed me to keep her with me. So I basically take the love that she gave to me and I tried to give it to other people. Same thing with my books. It's a way to express myself. It's a way to express my light and my love and just putting it in words.
Okay, awesome. I love it. Well, I love you who you are. You sound like a beautiful young lady. I love the fact that you're even keeping your aunts alive through the fact that you continue to bake and all that. And I'm sure you put a whole lot of love in what you do. So that is just so awesome. But I've got a question for you. Your first book, one of your books you wrote, Silent Tears. Wow. Yes. And I want to talk about just the title for a moment, but also even your book cover. Like, what does is that an eagle or what type of bird? A dove? What kind?
It's a black bird. Okay, so there's a story with it.
Okay.
I don't necessarily know what type of bird it is. It's just a black bird.
A black bird.
And there's a story that is basically like the main focus of the book. And basically I was in an abusive relationship and I didn't know how I was going to get out. And the night that I had finally decided that I wasn't going to be afraid anymore, that I decided that I was going to get away no matter, you know, what needed to happen, no matter what was going on. I didn't know how to do it by myself anymore. And I prayed that night. And I said, if you know, God, if you can get me out of this situation, I will never let anything like this happen to me again. And there's a lot of things that are with it, but basically I needed to be able to get to work, to be able to call the police, to be able to get away from this man. And my phone had died. And when my phone died, I knew I wasn't going to be able to wake up to get to work, and I wasn't going to be able to get up before him. And so usually my alarm would go off at 7:30. At 7:27, a little black bird came and sang next to my window.
Wow.
And
Okay.
yeah. And it woke me up. And when
Thank
I
you, Lord.
woke up, yes. When I woke up, he was still too drunk to move out of the bed. He couldn't move. He couldn't get anywhere near me.
Okay,
And
good.
I was able to get to work to be able to call the police. And I was able to get away from him. And there's a poem in the book. It's called Little Black Bird. And that's what the bird in the front cover is based off of.
Oh, that is such a beautiful story. This is why, to my viewers, I like to ask about book covers, because there is always usually a motivation behind a book cover. And we would have never known that. You would have just thought it was a bird and, it's the Silent Tears. You think about the name and like, wow, you think about Silent Tears. We've all probably had silent tears at some point. And so I'm thankful that, that bird helped you be able to dry up those tears from the situation that you were in. And so for you, what do you want people to take away from Silent Tears?
What I want them to take away from it is to basically not give up and to keep moving forward in life. I want people to keep striving and doing and being better as individuals, and just keep going, because you never know who you can become, what you can do, what you can achieve. I never in a million years would have thought that I ever would have been an author. Actually, the reason why it's called Silent Tears is because, okay, I'm 28 now.
Okay.
But it took me 23 years to be able to tell my story.
Wow.
All those years, I never told anything about anything that I had ever been through to anybody. One part of it is I wasn't comfortable. Another part of it was I had a little bit of repression, so I couldn't remember it.
Okay.
And there was one night I had writer's block for 3 years, and I used to write, but it used to take me a long time to get a poem down. Like, it'd take me like weeks to just write one poem.
Okay.
But I had writer's block for about 3 years. And then one night I was in bed and I could not sleep. I just had words in my head and I'm like, what is going on? What is the issue? So I got up out of bed and I sat there and I wrote down everything that was in my head, and it was a poem. And it's the first poem in the book, and it's called My Story. And this poem just poured out of me like nothing I had ever experienced before. Like it made my whole body shake, just taking this out of me. And when I wrote it, even though it was my story, I felt like it wasn't meant for me. I felt like it was meant for somebody else. And I didn't understand what God was telling me to do with it. So I actually posted it on Facebook. And yes, I posted the poem on Facebook because I felt like, because it wasn't for me, I felt like it needed to get to whoever it was supposed to get to, but I didn't know who it was supposed to get to. So I posted it online, hoping that it would get to whoever it was supposed to go to.
Okay.
And when I posted it, it had a lot of great response, and everybody kept telling me, you need to write a book. And I was just like, okay, well, I'll write a book. And the poems just kept flowing and they kept flowing. And I had never experienced anything like that. And it wasn't just therapeutic for me, it was therapeutic for other people. And I've been able to strive and do such amazing things now that I never thought that I would have been able to do, just because I was holding on to my story like baggage. Wow. And it wasn't until I was able to release that, that I was able to thrive. So I felt like I had wasted 23 years of my life. So now I don't like to waste a day.
There you
So
go.
I named it Silent Tears because
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever want to be silenced again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I love that.
Thank
Don't
you.
think you can silence her. But I love, when you were speaking, like I
Not at
literally,
all.
yes, when you were speaking, Jaslyn, I literally could feel like something within the spirit, like within my spirit as you were talking. And I know that God has called you, and you didn't know what to do, but you knew you had to share that story with someone, and you were led to put it on Facebook. And look what happened. It blessed so many people that they inspired you like God knew they were going to do and say, hey, you need to write a book. And then you
Yeah.
jumped on that writing a book. And I know that writer's block is gone. You said it used to take you a few weeks to just write one poem. But
Yeah.
now look at you, because you've written not only one book, but two. And I'm going to bring your second book up. You guys wait for it, wait for it. Bam. This cover right here, okay? The Angry Black Woman. And I don't know if you guys can see, like you maybe have to get maybe on your, if you're on your phone, get a little closer, but you can obviously tell that this woman here has been through some abuse. And I just love just the whole cover. You don't see the guy's face, but you do see this woman that is sitting, while he's over her. It's kind of like a submissive position. And so tell me about this cover. And then I noticed the whole shattered glass. So I'm always looking at all the little details. So tell us
Yeah.
about the cover and then the story behind the title.
Okay, so on the cover, the reason why I chose something like this is because it's a continuance of Silent Tears.
Okay.
And both books are a continuance of my own life story. Like this isn't like made up characters. This isn't fictional. Like this is my life story.
Okay.
And because I had held on to my story for so long, eventually it turned into anger.
Okay.
And there was a lot of different things that I needed to heal from and I needed to learn from. And with the cover, it didn't matter what his face looked like, because the thing is that could be anybody.
Yes.
You don't know. You never know who could be an abuser. I never would have thought that I would have been abused. My abuse started because I started feeling like a weird feeling, and I broke up with my boyfriend because I knew something was off. And when I broke up with him, that's when he abused me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I want to stop
So
right there too, and I want to talk about something, Jaslyn, here. So to those that are listening, because we know there's going to be people that's listening to this show that may be in an abusive relationship right now, or maybe you experienced it in the past. But I have to tell you, Jaslyn said she knew something wasn't right. And now, in my experience, it wasn't where I survived attempted murder and rape. For those of you who don't know, mine was not a domestic violence. It wasn't a dating violence, but it was at the hands of someone who I knew. So my guards was down because I would never think someone would want to take my life. But on the day that he tried that, there was a funny feeling. I knew like something wasn't right. I'm like, oh, okay, he's too quiet. He's always talkative, and something just seems like something's up, but I didn't know what. And so I just thought, I don't know why I was having that feeling, but you have to listen to that inner voice, because it is a warning where God is trying to tell you this situation isn't safe. You need to get out of it as quickly as possible. So listen to that voice, just as Jaslyn just shared. She knew something felt strange, and that's why she broke up with this person. So you break up with them, Jaslyn, and then the abuse starts. Now, how does that happen?
So we were living together at the time, and we were on our way back to the house to pack his belongings.
Okay.
On the way back to the house, he spit on me. He lit a cigarette and he put it out on my arm.
Wow.
I was driving on the interstate and he was swerving me while I'm driving on the interstate, so I was barely missing cars. once we got to the house, he started packing his belongings, and he got mad because I was helping him pack his belongings, because I want you to get out like now. So he gets mad that I'm helping him. So he was like, "Did you call the police?" And I was like, "I didn't call the police. I just want you to leave. Like, you just need to go." And he wouldn't. He grabbed a knife and he held it to my stomach, and then he held it to my throat. And he said, "If the police come in here, I'm killing you, and then I'm killing me." And I ended up running away from him. He hit me in my eye. He hit me in my nose. And then it was really just an all-night ordeal, and he raped me. The next morning, I woke up, and I was obviously trying to get away from him again. And I had just had him meet a family member, and he was basically like telling me his address, and was like telling me in detail what he was going to do to him and what he was going to do to my sister. And just, it was a lot. And obviously, because of what I just saw him do to me, why would I not believe what he would do to someone else?
Exactly.
So it took me a month to build up the strength to stop being afraid of him, because I was terrified. And every day it was a fight to get away from him. Every day it was finding new ways to get away, and it wasn't enough. And then, like I said, that night, my little black bird came and woke me up. And I haven't seen him since.
Wow. That is, a very strong testimony, and thank you for sharing. And you know what's really crazy, because now, JASLYNN, I know you reached out to us last year about being a part of the conference, and then this year, you made sure you got in there. And it's the funniest thing, because I think I had already closed it, right?
Yes.
Everything. I'm like, okay, well, we have our number of authors that we're featuring, but she reached out to me. She was like, "Hey, it said close." And but one of my authors had just told me she had to have surgery, and that she wasn't going to be able to be a part of the conference. So it opened up a door for her, and I was so thankful, because she's meant to be at this conference. God is, position you to be a part of the 2022 Impact and Influence authors conference, and I'm so thankful for you. But JASLYNN, here's the thing that's so crazy when I listen to your story, because the person who tried to kill me pulled a knife too, and he kept trying to cut my throat, but God wouldn't allow his knife to cut my throat. He stabbed me in my eye, but through the grace of God, I didn't lose my eye, because the knife went directly in my eye. He literally told me he was going to kill me and then kill himself, kind of like similar to your story. And also, he raped me too. And it's so crazy and so sad that people, when they decide to be abusive to a person, to a woman, then they get some kind of kick or power kick from taking advantage of you through sexual assault or rape. And it's really sad that, people have sick minds like that. But I thank God, I hope this guy got justice by, from the law for what he did to you, because he needed to. I'm thankful that the person that did these crimes to me is in prison now. But did he ever go to jail?
Unfortunately not. I am basically trying to keep moving forward and trying to get into a position where I can change things so that I can get my own justice, because there's absolutely no reason why I should be going through things like that with a person. And they're free to roam this earth. And like, not only that, I even ran into someone else at the gas station that told me that they had the same experience that I had. Not obviously the same story, but they ended up being in a relationship with him and found out that this was the same guy.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Now he needs to really be
right. So you can do these type of things to me, and then it not even be on your record? Absolutely not. So I'm not going to stop until I'm in a position to change things, to get my own justice, because that's part of my journey and that's what I deserve, and it's what other women deserve. So not only do I have a voice, but I have a chance, and that's not
True.
something that's going to go away.
Good. Well, I want to invite you and offer for you to work with me. I have a nonprofit called Hums, Uplifting Hearts, Minds, and Souls. And it's a nonprofit to help stop violence towards people, but especially women and children. And I do a lot in the community. A lot of times, I know you guys see me on this show, or you might see me when I was doing Real Talk with Rhonda Knight. That's my fun show to act silly, but and talk about real issues, but from the things I think about. And but maybe a lot of my viewers don't know my outreach in the community. I do a lot of community things to make a difference for survivors of crimes, and especially with the shelters, and especially in communities, we do so much outreach, so much outreach. As a matter of fact, with the conference that's coming up, part of the proceeds from the conference will go to help with our outreach in the community and the different programs that we're trying to do. And I'm going to talk about the conference in a moment, but I just want to stay on the subject with JASLYNN because, it's so sad. I remember, JASLYNN, when I was going through counseling, because honestly, when things like that happen to you, I don't care how strong you think you are, because I've always saw myself as a very strong woman. I wasn't afraid of things. I would travel by myself. I was just never afraid. But when
Yes.
someone tries to take your life like that, and also, sexually assault you, it does something to you. And so I went through PTSD, and anxiety, panic attacks, all kind of craziness, sleep, insomnia, flashbacks, crying spells, all kinds of things. I don't know if you experienced any of those, but the thing is, it's so sad that a person has to go through that, and then there is still no justice on this earth from that person. But we know that God's going to give you the ultimate justice for what happened to you, and the other young lady that you said that you shared about as well. I remember even in counseling, hearing some of the women there tell me that those who sexually assaulted them was still on the streets. And I'm like, oh my God, how could that be? Because for me, after whatever I experienced at that point, I was like, oh my God, if this person was still on the street, I would never go on the street, because I was at that point terrified of men and scared of people. I didn't trust anybody after that. I was like, I'm staying in. I'm not talking to anybody.
Sure.
Your life is so valuable. And it is valuable, but I was going to say, you feel vulnerable, and like how, a person can easily take it and without remorse. And so, but I thank God that, just like you, I had the courage to say, you know what, I'm not going to lay down when this happened to me, even though I got to go through this healing process, but I'm still going to go out and make a difference. So I started Hums, Uplifting Hearts, Minds, and Souls, because I felt at that point I needed something to uplift my heart and my mind and my soul. And I knew that there were other people. I thought about calling it Safe in Your Arms, and that was speaking about being in God's arms. But I was like, people might take that the wrong way if they've been through abuse in someone's arms. So, I just kept seeking God, and he gave me that answer. But I'd be honored for you to do some events with me on when I talk about that subject matter, and some of the outreach that we do, because again, we just want to make a difference for those. If you've been through a abusive situation, or if you are currently in an abusive situation, I'm actually going to put, let me see if I have room. I'm going to tell you this because I think I got a whole lot of information. I might not have room to pull it up real quickly and do it for you. But I want you to go to hums.org, but it's Hums is H-U-M-S.org. Hums with the dashes or hyphens in between.org. And there I have a lot of information for survivors, or for people that are in situations right now, because your life is valuable. I don't want you to ever think, with all that you're going through, that your life means nothing, because it means something. God put you on this earth for a reason, and no one should be taking advantage of you in a hurtful way, whether it's verbally, physically, mentally, emotionally. You should not be in a situation where you're not feeling the best you. But I want you to go to our website. There's resources there. There are organizations that you can call with counselors on staff 24 hours. You know, rain.org is and that's rain with two N's.org is another place to go if you've been a victim of assault or incest or, rape. You certainly can go there and reach out to them. But there's a lot of resources there. And then there's a lot of information to help you understand what you're going through mentally, because sometimes you don't realize why you're doing certain things and why you're behaving a certain way. But a lot of times it can be a trigger based on what happened to you. So I definitely want to support our viewers out there and share that information with you. And I'm so sorry, JASLYNN, that I stopped your interview for a moment just to put that out there, because I think it's so important. And you and I are both on that same page that we really want to make a difference for others.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you and you sharing your story. So, I think that when people first look at your book title, they're going to, did you get this kind of response where people thought, oh, here we go with another angry Black woman story?
Yes.
Story.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, I'm literally one of the most goofiest, happiest, joyful people.
Okay.
And the people that actually know me, they're like, why did you call it the angry Black woman? But there was a point in my life where I was very angry. I was very angry, but I had to heal. And I had to grow, and I had to learn how to love myself. I had to learn how to trust myself and my thoughts and my feelings, and, try to break down those barriers to be able to trust someone else. And once I was able to do that for myself and for the people around me, it allowed me to not be that angry woman anymore. So basically, the angry Black woman is a misconception. Like,
Yes.
Anybody can be angry, but none of us started off that way. We all started off the same, but there's things that happen to us that were never supposed to happen. And anybody would be angry. So basically, the angry Black woman could be any of us.
I agree. You're right about that. You could be an angry any color woman or angry any color man if you've been through some things. Because I have, honestly, through my organization, talked to men who have been in abusive situations. Not a lot, but a few. And a lot of times it's harder for them to share, especially when they're talking about, rape or something like that, to share that something like that might have happened to them at an early age. But even for you out there, if you are a male and you've been through some abuse and attacks on your life or violence upon you, please reach out to us too. And we want to be able to provide whatever resources we can. And I do have where we have information nationwide. So it's not just for the Atlanta metro area or Michigan, which is where I'm from, but we do have information where we can connect you with different organizations or shelters within your state. So reach out to us. You can actually still call me on my number of 678-888-5599 as well, if you'd like to speak to me personally and have me try to help you and work with you. JASLYNN, before I talk about the conference, is there anything you want to say to people that are in an abusive situation currently? Anything else you want to add to what I said?
When you're in a situation like that, it's hard to have someone to talk to, or if you're even able to be in a position to be able to talk to anyone. But it's so important that no matter how, you have to figure out how you are going to get out, because anything could happen, and you cannot allow someone to have that type of power over you. Yes. And it took me a long time to be able to stop being afraid of that man. What finally clicked for me that made me realize that I wasn't afraid of him anymore is he actually held a gun to my head. I was driving on the interstate with a loaded gun to my head. And he told me that he should kill me. And at that point, I realized that there wasn't anything else that he could do to me. And that wasn't living.
Mm-hmm.
You can't live like that. That's not life.
Mm-hmm.
And when I finally stopped being afraid of him, he put the gun down. He put the gun down and he was quiet for the rest of the night. He never messed with me again after that.
Wow.
And when I realized that I was able to scare him, it stopped me from being afraid of a lot of different things, because at the end of the day, God has you. So if you know that God has you, know that you will get out of this situation and you will be fine. No matter what they are telling you, you are not weak. You are not empty. You are not broken. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You are powerful. And you have that inside of you. And you always will have that inside of you, no matter what is going on. And never let anyone make you feel less than, no matter who they are in your life. You have to decide who you are going to be in your own life and not allow anyone to take that from you. Anyone. So, you know, if you need to speak to a pastor, if you need to speak to a friend, a family member, if you need to call a hotline, do anything that you need to do. Talk to the police, talk to somebody, get out. Do not wait. Do not walk, run, because it could mean your life and you have got to go. And you are absolutely so powerful and you are absolutely so amazing. And you will never know the things in this life that you will see once you start seeing that own light within yourself.
Right. The things you'll see and the things that you'll do. And I put up here for our viewing audience, because to me, this is a very, very, excuse me, I just had to change in my seat. But this is a very, very important subject matter. And I want you guys to know, I added it to the part that I have about our conference information. But if you're in an abusive situation, if you've been through sexual assault or rape, or you just need to talk to someone, please reach out to us. Our website is listed there, www.h-u-m-s.org, HUMS.org, with the dashes in between. There's so much resource there for family who are dealing with someone who has been a victim of a crime. There's information there for you to understand what that person is going through inwardly as well, so you have a better understanding and know how to support them. Because a lot of times, sadly, when we have loved ones or friends that go through something horrific, people think that over a certain period of time, you should be over it. You should be healed. I hear this from when I work with the Voices of Black Mothers United, which is an organization of women who have lost their children to violence. And, you know, and then even as a survivor myself, I would hear people say, oh, you know, well, by his stripes, you're healed. Or, well, you know, you look like you're fine now, but, you know, we could have healed on the outside, but you never know what that inner battle is like. And I pray that none of you will ever know what that inner battle is like, because it is not something you want to go through. But you have to learn how to support those in your family that say they've been through something. Don't tell people, oh, you should be over that by now. It's been 5 years, it's been 10 years. You don't know how long it takes for them to get over something. That's not how you love on someone, and that's not how you support someone. So it should be, let me see where I can find whatever resources that there are to know how to help my family member or how to help my friend. And that's the way you can be the best to your family member, or you can be the best friend to your friend, is by seeing what you can do to help them along their journey and be that support that they need. Am I right, JASLYNN?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, switching gears, guys, we've got a beautiful conference coming up, and I'm so excited about it because you'll have an opportunity to talk to JASLYNN herself personally and buy her books. We got Silent Tears, and we have The Angry Black Woman. And I think that both books will be something that will encourage and motivate you. You don't have to have been through abuse or, you know, any type of assault, but if you read this book, it's going to help you understand how either one of the books, I would say get both of them together, is going to help you understand how to deal with whatever things you're facing in life. Maybe it's something on your job. Maybe it's something within your family, like where there's a lot going on in the family. Whatever your situation is, maybe it's something in your marriage. Whatever it is, maybe it's between you and your kids. It's a lot of things we can deal with in life, but this is a way to look at what it took for this young lady as she told her story through her two books, what it took for her to be able to overcome, to become the beautiful young lady you see before you, this courageous, beautiful, strong woman that's moving forward and desires to do so many wonderful things on this earth. This could be the same situation for you, but sometimes we have to read other stories so that it can encourage us to be the best that we can be. Okay. And so that's why I encourage you to come out to the conference. The information I have down there, it's going to be the 2022 Impact and Influence Influence Authors Conference. I almost said Author of the Year because that's something that's a part of it. But during the conference, you will actually get a chance to hear different authors talk in these sessions. And these are authors who write books to impact lives for positive change. So they're writing so that they can encourage and they can help someone along their journey. So you definitely want to come out and hear their different sessions. And then we're going to have a authors panel where you can talk with the authors, ask questions of them, a Q&A with all the authors. All the authors will be on the panel for that. And then we'll turn around and have a writer's workshop. So if you aspire to write, if you're new at writing, and even if you're a seasoned writer, or you're just a person that loves to read, you definitely want to be a part of the panel as well as the writer's workshop. It's going to be wonderful. And then Sunday is an amazing day. I tell you, it's so much going on. That's part of that's going on Sunday too. But the first part of Sunday, to set the atmosphere, we are having a prophetic ministry service with Prophet Robert Shields. I'm so thankful he's out of Florida, but he's really nationwide or worldwide. He's done things all over, but he's blessed us with his grace to come and be a part of the conference this year. It's his first year with us, and he's going to be ministering into the lives of those that are there. So come, there may be a word for you. Bring someone with you. God may have a word for them. You never know. This may be the day that you're listening at this show because God is saying you need to be there. So be obedient, be obedient. You can go here, and I'm going to bring back up the information about our website. I'm going to keep the information up about the abusive situations too with our nonprofit hums. But to register for the conference, you want to go to LadyKnightEnterprisesPublishing.com. There you'll be able to register for the authors conference. It is a free event. You can come out free all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Next weekend, April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, coming up real quickly. And all day it'll be wonderful people to meet, things to do, so much fun. There's elegant dinner we're having. Now that's the only thing that costs with the conference. If you want to be a part of the elegant dinner, here our keynote speaker, which this year is going to be me, and mingle with our beautiful authors like JASLYNN here, and have an intimate setting to be able to talk to them personally while you eat dinner and hear some, good word, good encouraging words in the speech that I'm going to be bringing about on that day. But just so many wonderful things. And guess what? We actually have an award ceremony, the 2022 Impact and Influence Author of the Year Award Ceremony. This is going to be a first, second, and third place winner. And you, our guests, have the opportunity to vote for who you think should be that Author of the Year. Maybe you heard their interview on the Impact and Influence Author Show. Maybe you talked to them during the conference during those 3 weeks. Maybe you bought their book and you just want to support them in the gift that God has given them and how they're just sharing with the world to impact and influence lives. So you'll have the opportunity to choose your favorite at the conference. It's black tie, red carpet, wonderful experience at the award ceremony. You can come dressed or you can come casual. We don't care. We just want to see you there. But you're going to have a lot of fun. So remember, you want to go here to register. I'll put that back up again. And while I have that information up, you're going to go to LadyKnightEnterprisesPublishing.com. If you're in an abusive situation or you have a family member that has been, I want you to go to hums.org, H-U-M-S.org. I was looking at the board and reading what I was saying and trying to talk at the same time. Okay. But anyway, You definitely want to go there. But yes, go get registered right now for the conference because we need to know what number of guests are coming. And register, and share with your friends and bring someone with you. Also, we have VIP too. If you want to do VIP, you'll be able to do that on the website as well. So, JASLYNN, now you have just gave us an amazing testimony and story. You shared your books with us. You know, we've learned so much about you. What would it mean to you to win the 2022 Impact and Influence Author of the Year award?
I mean, that type of acknowledgement would be great. You know, it would mean a lot to me, and it would feel amazing just to, honestly, it feels amazing to even have the opportunity to be a part of it. So I can't even imagine how it would feel to win. So it's just a beautiful experience. I'm just taking it all in.
Well, I mean, I think that, you know, and people are going to say probably that I say this to all my authors, but I got a lot of great featured authors, guys. That's why you need to come out to the conference. But when I tell you, I really would see people voting for you because I am so proud of you and all your accomplishments and what you're doing and where God is leading you to in your obedience. I'm so thankful for you and for you being a part of the conference. We're thankful that you graced us with your appearance to be here. So we're looking forward to it. I'm going to wrap up here. JASLYNN, is there anything you want to add? Any last minute comments?
No, just hope to see everybody there, and just loving the fact that I'll be able to be a part of something like this. And thank you for having me on the show.
Awesome. Thank you, JASLYNN Gholson. Is that how you pronounce your last name, Gholson?
Gholson.
Okay, sure. It's a tongue twister, though, a little bit. But thank you so much for being here. And thank you to my viewers. Don't forget, when we finish this show, because now we're at the end, I want you to go ahead and share with your friends and your family and send it to different groups you're in. You never know who you might be able to help just by putting a video up for them to watch, where it would be a blessing for them too. Guys, I love you, my viewers, and I love you, JASLYNN. Mwah, kiss to you.
Love you too.
And, you know, I will see you on next week. Remember, the conference is next week. Go get registered right now. In the meantime, stay blessed, and we will see you next time on the Impact and Influence Author Show.
Let me hear you say impact and influence, impact and influence, impact and influence,
Positivity and change.
impact and influence, impact and influence, impact and
The
influence.
authors about to do their thing.
You know they got the book club, Authors Association. You better know the author show is always captivating. Impact and influence, impact and influence, impact and
The
influence.
authors about to do their thing.